the past few years, I've generated over $200 million in e-commerce sales. And this year alone, my team and I sent over 100 million emails for brands. And now going through all these emails, looking at the numbers, and studying what other top brands are doing, I've put together a list of the most creative and the most effective emails that I've seen be run this year. And in this video, I'm breaking them all down for you. This way you can steal these and use them for yourself. Most importantly, understand why these strategies work so that you can replicate them. Because in 2026, inboxes are more saturated than ever. And if you aren't finding creative ways to stand out, then you're gonna be losing sales to all the other brands that do. And with that being said, let's get over to campaign number 1. Now this first email is from a brand called Holy Pals. They sell kids clothes and these matching family pajama sets that you can use on holiday cards and all that good stuff. But instead of just offering the usual 10 to 20% off like everybody else does, they got creative. You see, most brands think that a discount is the only and the best way to make sales from your email list. But Holy Pals actually found a way to increase their email engagement and drive more sales without having to blast their entire email list 10% off and lose a ton on margin. And even better, they got people to spend more from their store in the process. This idea was so good that I actually tried it for a few of my brands and it absolutely crushed, even breaking an all-time record for 3 of our brands that we ran this for. Look at how simple this email is. Now you're probably like, okay, what is this dude saying? But look at how simple this is. First off, it's plain text-based. It looks like it's coming from just like a friend sending you this email. And look at this. It says your order might be on us. Now, immediately that's getting my attention. If I'm just scrolling my phone and I see, oh, my order might be on them, I get this for free. And look at what they're doing. They said, just for fun, we're going to randomly choose 3 orders placed within the next 24 hours to get a full refund. And then just saying we felt called to bless a few of you guys with a sweet surprise, so making it seem like it is like a very noble thing to do, when in reality, they're going to make bank off this. So if you've been eyeing some of our PJs, now's the perfect time to shop. We'll be sending you an email if you win, and then shop now. This concept right here works so well. Everybody's doing 10% off, and if you're placing an order of say $50, 10% off is just $5. That's nothing. And so you see a lot of the brands with low AOV struggle to make sales with just like 10% off. But the idea of being able to get the whole $50 order off just makes it so much more enticing to place an order. And really, like, am I tripping about having to place an order for $50 versus $45? No. So that doesn't work as well as the idea of getting the full thing placed on me. And you might be wondering, oh, people might place an order for like $20 and then call it good. I actually found the opposite. See, our AOV actually increased this for brands that we ran this for, because think about it. If you received this email and you're like, okay, let me place an order, and you only place an order for $20, but you win and you get the full order refunded, you would feel like an absolute idiot for only spending $20. You would have wished that you spent $200. So you see that everybody is placing orders for a lot of money with the idea that they might get it for free. Easy way to stand out and not be like the basic stuff that everybody does, 10% off. And all you have to do is run this and then just send an email the next day being like, hey, these were the people who got their orders refunded. Amazing execution and idea. Now, campaign number 2 came from another brand that went against all the other sort of like traditional marketing ideas. And that's exactly why it stands out. This brand is called Salt, and they sell electrolyte pouches, and you can add that to your water. Now, there are obviously tons of brands out there selling the same product. I'm literally drinking one of another brand. And so they know that if they want to stand out and make sales from their list, they got to get creative. And in this case, it looks like a complete mistake. At least that's what they make you think. And the email is right here. Now, you might be wondering, like, this is pretty underwhelming. It's officially here. It's just like this top hero section. You guys wanted a bigger bottle, and it's officially here. Get yours now. Now, this doesn't look pretty crazy, right? It's because it's not. It's a pretty average email. But it's the email that followed up that really made it stand out. What we had right here was the subject line saying, "We fucked up." And that subject line definitely got my attention when I received this email. And so essentially they said, right, that was our bad. This was meant for this time tomorrow, lol. And I love how they had like an actual picture of like the founding team and like the marketing team right here actually being like, oh my goodness. And then they have this stay tuned right here. So right off the bat, they've got my attention. And now I know for a fact that they have some sort of like big announcement. So now I'm engaged. They also feel personal, like it's a real human. And it's just an easy way to actually stand out in the inbox, because now I'm like, oh shoot, maybe I do want this product. And then they followed it up with the final, just live, for real this time, only 197 remaining. And I think that a lot of brands are scared to do something like this because it's like, oh, we don't want to be perceived as unprofessional, but in reality, it makes you seem so personal, like you're just another person. And people want to buy from people. They don't want to buy from these like faceless corporations. This sort of like you messed up kind of like hits home. But more importantly, it gets your attention. attention. And that's why I think it works so well. So maybe consider purposefully messing up here and there. And who knows, maybe it was a real accident for them, but it got my attention in my inbox. Next up, at number 3, we've got an email that pretty much forced me to open it. And it's from this company called Magic Mind, who sells mental performance shots. And right from the start, they stood out from everybody else in my inbox. See, instead of just sending people the usual boring email, they baited people into reading their entire message without people realizing that they were being sold to. And honestly, it was a genius move that a lot of brands could pull off. Here we have another plain text-based email. There's no design. It cuts through all the noise of the inbox where everybody's sending blinding designs. But what you'll notice here is it says, "It's Steve, please don't open this." Okay, if somebody tells me to not open something, I'm opening it. So I open it, and then it says, "Final hours to save. Marketing stole the keyboard." I thought that was funny right there. So it was like the marketing team stole the inbox. But then you go, "Hey there, it's Steve from finance. I was told repeatedly to stay out of the marketing emails, but apparently that hasn't been going very well for me. So here we are. I just found out this month-long Black Friday deal is finally ending at midnight, which means this is my last chance to beg you to stop making my job harder. Because right now you can still get $327 worth of Magic Mind for only $74, plus up to a month of free sleep shots. Yes, a month of free things. I don't know who approved this either. If you want sharper days, you have only a few hours left. Please, for the sake of my blood pressure, either grab the deal now or ignore me entirely. I'm emotionally prepared for both outcomes. Best regards, Steve from finance, unfortunately. And then some PS being like, "Hey, the sale ends at midnight, no extensions, yada yada, PPS. If anybody asks, I didn't authorize any of this. Full terms here." Now this is funny. Do people really believe that this is Steve from finance messaging everybody? No. But it does add some life to the brand, and it makes it so fun. You love the copy, you love the playful words here, you love the "final hours to save, marketing stole the keyboard." It's just a fun voice that people can get behind, and I think it's this sort of stuff is what people want to be a part of. Everybody can appreciate fun marketing, and this sort of stuff, it's a creative way to not just say, they could have just said literally like, "Hey, our order expires tonight, go buy now." But no, they do this. And I think we're gonna see a lot more of this stuff in 2026, because I've tried this and it works. If you don't want to have to come up with all these concepts on your own, I study these all day, every day, as well as my team, and they've helped us generate over $200 million in e-commerce sales. If you want a team to come up with all these for you and execute them completely, all you do is sit back, relax, and look at money coming in from your email list, then click the link below and book a call with us. Now that brings us to email number 4, and this one started off with a subject line that again caught me way off guard. But it didn't stop there, because the rest of the email was filled with pattern interrupts that just make it stand out. And it does not look like any other marketing email, which seems to be a common trend here, but that's exactly why it works. You can see here the subject line says, "Diana, I have a problem with my boss. Guess why and help, please." Now, what brand is sending you this? Like, you literally think that this is somebody accidentally sending you an email. And so it's super fun and creative. And we go into this email right here, and it says, "Running late, but cute AF." And you can see one thing that stands out here is it's a Snapchat filter, which pretty much anybody who could buy from this brand, they're using Snapchat. So they recognize this. So that's a pattern interrupt. This doesn't look like an email. Then it says, "I'm in trouble with my boss. Help. Why are you late?" Bro, the journey was spiritual. What he doesn't know is it's fall season. I'd rather show the fit than be the first one at the office. Boom. And then they plug in the different products right here, and then a couple of pictures as well, showing off the outfits using the product. Amazing. There's a story behind this that people can get behind. It's not just buy our shit, buy our shit. There's a story behind it. It's using the Snapchat layout, which everybody recognizes it. There are multiple different ways of showing the products right here. And this is an email that I would support. I'd love a brand like this. This is super fun. And it gets your attention with them saying, "Hey, I have a problem with my boss." But the interesting part here is they actually sent this email twice, but to different audiences. To their list who are female, they send this email. But to males, they actually customized the email, and they sent the same thing, exact same copy and everything, but they just used pictures of a guy model right here. You can see, "I'm on my way, sorry, was on my way, got distracted, just here, sorry boss." And so they're hitting the different demographics because they probably tested, and by sending emails of women's clothing to men, they didn't get nearly as many conversions. So this is a great show of segmenting your audience, customizing, and also using pattern interrupts and making your emails stand out from everybody else. Now at number 5, we've got a campaign that was actually sent out for a Black Friday promotion. And really you could use it for any type of campaign. And it's from this brand called Alpenrock, which sells luxury clothing. And the best part about this one is it did not require any crazy copy or design. It's a lot simpler than graphic-based emails that everybody's used to, and literally anybody can use it for their brand. And the psychology behind this is on point. This is actually a brand with 2 emails for inspiration that I want to show because I think they crush this. So what you'll notice about this brand is their sender name is Alpenrock. However, when they are running a sale, they use the name Alpenrock Sale. Most brands that you look at, they never change their sender name, but people don't realize that you can change your sender name, and it's kind of like a second form of a subject line. So when I see the word sale, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm clicking this, and then we have the sale email right here. So that is one hack that I absolutely love that they do. It's one extra way for you to stand out in the inbox. This is something that I'm expecting a lot more brands to do. But the real one I want to talk about is this rewards at Alpenrock right here. We see right here, instead of Alpenrock, they do rewards at Alpenrock, and it says you have $50 to shop. Keep in mind, I have no affiliation with this store. I had no idea that I was even signed up, so I had no reason to earn this $50. And if you click on here, then it says you still have $50 in credit. Use this code at checkout. And boom, all this is literally just a discount code. It's literally just $50 off, but instead they frame it as credit from rewards at Alpenrock right here. They got my attention with $50 because if anybody says, yo Max, you have $50, I'm opening that. I'm trying to figure out how do I get this $50? And they frame it as rewards at Alpenrock, saying I have this credit. It looks like super official, and it looks like I actually do have this. And they use this like official sort of language right here, and then they use this discount. They make it look super random, and that's why this works so well. Using credit rather than a discount hits different psychologically because I'm like, I have this discount. And rather than like the psychology of a discount is, oh my goodness, I have to spend $100 in order to then get like 10% off. No, this is different psychology. It's I have $50 right here. And actually you have to place like a minimum order of like $200 in order to claim this. So really this is like, if you get $50 off a $200 order, that's 25% off. But do you think this stands out more than just like, hey, 25% off, available to everybody? No, this hyper customized sort of thing that says you have $50 to shop with this hyper specific offer is such a good way to stand out. And I know I've said that we've broken a lot of records with a lot of these emails, but this is one style of email that consistently breaks records for our brands. Send an email to people saying, hey, you have $16.72 of store credit. Make it look automated in some sort of way, make it feel custom to that user. And that just hits a different nerve in people's brains to make them want to buy. Now, next up, campaign 6 might be a little bit controversial. And this is from a brand named Bays. Again, this is a Black Friday offer, but you could do this for any sort of sale if you wanted. I just love these Black Friday examples because you know that brands are doing the best that they possibly can for this time period. So we get the best sort of marketing to steal from. And what they did to get people to click on their email doesn't just feel unethical. A lot of people say it literally is. And now, sure, probably some people are gonna get angry. But I'm also betting that this email broke their open rate record and got the most eyeballs on their offer possible, which might just be worth the controversy that it caused. And the subject line right here that they used is action required. Fraud alert. Now, all you're seeing when you see a notification from this brand is action required, fraud alert. Immediate action may be required. And if I receive an email like that, I am instantly clicking that email. And then you click on this email and it's just sale extended. The fraud is us. And so they say, hey, we're the fraud actually. Sale now extended, 30% off everything, continues for one more day. Shop sale. Now, I'm not saying that you should do this. What I am saying is that this stood out in many, many ways. And you could take this to the extreme, such as like action required, fraud alert, or you could do like something like a little bit more subtle, like action required, discount waiting. Be a little bit more subtle about it. But honestly, in like big sale periods, I don't think it is out of the realm of possibility for big brands to do this and for it to be like a bad move. Again, not saying you have to do it, but I just know for a fact that it definitely worked. Now, campaign number 7 comes from a brand called Harmless Harvest. They sell organic coconut water shipped from Thailand. Pretty sweet, right? And what they did that made this campaign stand out so much and why I love it so much is that they did some trend jacking. Essentially, they hijacked a trend from another social media sort of platform that is getting traction that people would recognize. And they adapted this trend into their own products to promote their stuff. And not only did it give them a reason to showcase their products and kind of like show off their brand, but it also made their email a lot more fun to engage with. And I'm sure you get this flooded onto your social medias once a year, but here we have the Wrapped, which looks like the Spotify Wrapped right here. We have the 2025 Harmless Harvest Wrapped. See how our sips made a difference. And so it looks just like Spotify Wrapped, where people are showing like, hey, I'm in the top 0.1% of Taylor Swift listeners, which I'm not, but whatever. But you have the 2025 Wrapped, essentially summarizing what your year was. And so right here, you can see Fair for Life impact. And so they're breaking down their stats and showing how the community base has actually helped give back and summarize everything. So they're saying 2025, your SIP supported 9 total projects, including 13,000 plus beneficiaries, 2,600 school bags distributed, 2,308 sets of farm protective gear, 14 schools with maintained water filtration systems. And then of course, they're gonna plug their brand right here so that you can see exactly that you're contributing to other people. And so this is a great way to show your brand and how you stand out and make people feel closer to your brand and want to support you. And you can do this even if you aren't some sort of brand that's like giving back necessarily a ton. You could do some sort of wrap, kind of like breaking down. You could replace this to, this is how many customers that we got this year, and show people like how many people are in their community. You could do, in 2025, you bought 4,300 t-shirts. You bought 1,472 pairs of jeans. And it's kind of fun to see all these numbers like shown out. Like, I'm always curious what these brands are selling. You could do how many views you got on social media, this sort of stuff. You could also do your top best sellers and just show them, but use a fun design that shows it as like Spotify Wrapped. This is trend jacking, and it's a great way for you to stand out. The best way to be perceived as a boring brand is to not do stuff like this. So I highly recommend that you implement stuff like this. Now that brings us to email number 8. And even after all the campaigns that we just covered, Alice Mushrooms has still found a way to stand out and be unique, because they realized that in 2025, 2026, people want to buy from people. They do not want to buy from faceless corporations. See, back in like 2015, people wanted to buy from big companies because they knew that if they ordered a product online from a big company, they're going to get their order and they're not going to be scammed. But if they bought from a person like trying to sell stuff out of like their house, they don't know if they're going to receive their order. So that's why you had all these big corporations making all the sales. But over time, as it started to get democratized and Shopify has made things super, super easy for stores to set up shop, there are all sorts of different guarantees and preventions from people getting scammed. People are much more likely to buy from smaller brands. Because who would you rather support? Somebody whose mission you really enjoy and like an actual person who feels like they could be your neighbor? Or do you want to buy from a ton of dudes in suits in a high rise in New York? You don't want to support those people. You want to support a person that you believe in. So this brand, even though they're a multi-million-dollar company and projected to be $10 million, they make their emails feel so personal that it catches you off guard. You don't even realize that you're being sold to until you click add to cart. Here is the email right here. Again, this is showing up just in your inbox as like a native email, but right here I'm on the platform Milled, and then right here it has this cute little picture of somebody that looks like it was taken from literally their backyard on an iPhone camera. It says, hi. There's not even a comma right here. So it literally feels like somebody is like personally texting you. And it says, Shira here, Alice's web manager and also sneakiest employee. I'm sneaking out one last email to remind you that you have up to 45% off. My bosses don't know I'm sending you this, so be nice. Get me a raise by pushing sales, exclamation point, exclamation point. In case you lost it, here's your unique code. Let's shop. Thanks, your favorite Alice employee, Shira. Tons of exclamation points. If I had to guess, this is how she texts in real life. So you really feel like you're actually getting a message directly from her. There's this image of her, again, looks like you're in her backyard and she's promoting the product right here. It's super fun and it makes them not feel like a $10 million company. And they're really leaning into that small brand feel that we've seen a lot of these brands blowing up from really use. And they have a lot of emails that do this sort of vibe. You can see all the different like text-based emails that they're doing right here, like the small business email right here, Small Business Saturday saying thank you. You can see just like, it looks like you're buying from these people who are like selling out of their house, because they are, and people want to support that in 2026. So I love how they really lean into that, and I think that they execute it really, really well. And that brings us to email number 9. It's from a brand from Gains in Bulk who sells supplements for weightlifting and overall health. And the beauty of their strategy came from how simple this is, yet effective. They didn't do anything fancy with email design. Again, this is a plain text-based email with a strong concept, but with one small change, they got people to feel like if they did not click this email, they were missing out. And since this idea is so simple, you could spin this up in literally just a few minutes and send it to your list and make a lot of money. What they have right here is another plain text email. It's literally just 5 lines of text right here in the body before just like this final message. And the subject line is, you're about to lose $20. Nobody wants to lose $20. And so this makes you want to click. Why am I losing this $20? And all it is, hey, you have a $20 gift card active right now, but it expires tonight. Use this code to claim at checkout. Load up your stack now and let this one cover part of the bill. Amazing. Notice how they could have said just like, hey, you've $20 off your order, and do a basic $20 off. But no, they framed this again as a gift card and framed it as, you have this, similar to the store credit that we were talking about earlier. But by saying you are losing $20, it's almost like I already have $20 and I don't want to lose it. Rather than something when you say like $20 off, again, you have to spend money to get that. This makes it seem like I already have $20. So psychologically, people are much more likely to take action. And I just love how simple it is, and this is just more proof that you don't need crazy designs. If you look at all these emails on this list, a lot of these were actually super simple, because that's what's standing out. You go to your inbox, ton of crazy design stuff, but it's the stuff like this which is working so well in 2026. And those right there are some of my favorite campaigns that I've seen from 2025. And there's a lot more to email campaigns and making sure you nail this strategy, because honestly, you can't just send these campaigns and nothing else and expect to make sales. You've got to have your non-discount emails. You've got to have strong product education. So if you want to learn more about how to run a $100 million email campaign strategy, then I've got this video lined up for you next, and I will see you over there. Thanks for watching.